And a fine good morning to you. Welcome to January 10th. And once again, the year is in overdrive, man. It is.
We're rolling. We're rolling. Although I will say that yesterday when, I realized it was the 9th, I was like, damn, it feels like it's the 27th already. The first week of January, I was like, whoa, thought way more time had passed. So it's good. I love it. Good morning, Ryan Coleman. Thank you yesterday for the virtual coffee. Absolutely fantastic conversation. A 30 minutes well spent. I appreciate you, sir.
So here's what's really neat. So you had a virtual coffee with him, and then you talked to me about it.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about the viral nature of virtual coffee, if it's a good one, you tell someone, hey, I had coffee with this dude today. It's not just that we're in business. That was a relevant event for you of the day. But the event of the day took place last night. I knew Jody would be here.
Yeah. Not missing the opportunity to talk about the dog.
That was a Vegas lock that she was going to be here.
Yeah.
So just listen. I want everybody to pay attention to the power of a word to frame your behavior. Shay, show me Kirby Smart before the game.
What do you need to see from your team early, particularly as you start on defense right now?
Aggression.
That's it?
That's what we want to do. We're going to hunt tonight. We're going to do the best we can to hunt tonight.
So, I don't know. I was sitting there watching the game with Jake. I felt like lightning hit my feet. I was like, holy cow, this guy's dialed in. One word to the team, aggression, man. We're taking it to them. And for salespeople, and I love this, we're going to hunt, man. We're not going to wait to be hunted. We're going to hunt. If you want to be great in business development, you have to learn to hunt. Just don't go around
consistently hunt, right? Like that's, and the other side of that, I think, of the lesson that I took away from last night was you can't ever allow the moment to be bigger than you.
Yeah,
is Georgia better than TCU? Sure, of course they are. Are they 65-7 better? Of course they're not. And TCU allowed the moment to be bigger than them, and they didn't execute well. They didn't operate well. And if you listen to Sonny Dykes, or anybody on that team, nobody feels like they gave it their best shot. They felt like they let the moment get the best of them. And that's possibly the worst feeling that you could have today. It would be far worse. That feeling is far worse than taking them to the wire and losing in the last minute. You felt like you got there and you really didn't put your best foot forward. You can never allow the moment to be bigger than you are.
So that begs the would you rather. Shay, give me some music for would you rather.
Would you rather?
So would you rather get to the game and get blown out as they did, or just never get there at all?
1,000% it's get there. Like, to me, if I'm Sonny Dykes, you walk away from that game and you go, we got there. We realized that we didn't prepare the right way. We didn't put ourselves in best position to win it. So there's a lot to build from there. But if you've never been there, you can't talk about what it's like. Right. So to me, it's always better to have been there and get blown out and squander the opportunity than to have not been there at all.
I agree. And this news was just in. Sonny Dykes is now joining Ed and Jesse Dykes in the Weston Jewelers family.
Well, so Sonny Dykes is a Texas football legend, but not as much of a legend as his father, who is Spike Dykes. His father's name is Spike Dykes.
Best name on the planet, I mean, it is just rather.
Come on, cut me a break. But they are Texas football royalty.
We did hear about Sonny Dykes from when we spoke to Coach Wanstatt yesterday, which was, that was a cool
good thing about that guy. So congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs, back-to-back national champions. Another great storyline coming out of that is that Jake referenced is Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett decided to be a preferred walk-on at the University of Georgia. they did not want him to stay on the team, right? Luckily for Georgia, Stetson said, no, I'm going to make it work here for myself. And that is a guy that has become a great football player, has led them to back-to-back championships, and there's a lot to be said for making your own way and the will to succeed.
I think Laura might have partied too hard last night.
She's not here this morning.
Oh yeah, right. For me, I'm just grateful because I got to close out the night at 9:00. Man. Didn't have the nail biter to keep me up.
That's
so
exactly correct.
Let's get to some wake up music because we're going to talk some GOTB.
Yeah.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then now listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on.
So, Joni, I think the report is that Stetson Bennett is single. So I think he could marry into the Georgia family.
He is also like 25, I think, or 26. So he's one of those stories that I remember Chris Wanke. Everybody made fun of Chris Wanke because he was 29 when he won the national championship with the Knowles.
There's Laura.
Yeah.
I can't start
celebrating the championship.
Hey, so congratulations to them. Great win. First team in a long time to double up and do it 2 years in a row. I cannot wait to see Georgia, Alabama next year because it is it's clear.
So Kirby's on his way to talking about approaching that Nick Saban kind of dynasty and that Nick Saban kind of era, because back-to-back championships, they don't show any signs of slowing down. And that's a guy who's committed to the process. But I think to segue us to what we want to talk about, which is our GOTB community, what makes them successful is it's not the result. It's not the playing of the game. It's the way they train. Right. And I had this conversation with Gabby last night. Of all the head coaches that I had the opportunity to interview with, there was no better interview process. And there was nobody that I enjoyed being around more than Kirby Smart. I walked away from that interview going, oh, there's no doubt I want to be there. I can tell by the way he operates, the way he was transparent with me, the way he was crystal clear on what he wanted to accomplish, how he was going to accomplish it, and the kind of people that fit into that equation. I was like, that's a no-brainer that they're going to be successful. It's only a matter of time, but it comes back to how do you train?
Well, I remember you saying after that interview to me, Dad, I'll take less money to be there. I think being there will change my life. Which was
and that experience of being able to see that and be around it just drove home the fact that it's about how you train, right? It's all about how you train. And that to me was our iteration of Get on the Ball. When we launched the platform originally, we had the first piece of the puzzle when it comes to quality training, which is great content, right? But it's you can't train extremely well if all you have is the content. Right. In order to train at a high level, you got to have great content. You got to have repetition. You got to have the ability to practice. Good morning, Tim Anderson. I know I was having this conversation with you last week. And then you have to have the ability to apply that in the exercises and in the practice and have the community of people around you to be able to support you on that mission. And so as I've evolved with you and what we've done here, you can go to school for sales. There's a sales class that's going to teach you how to ask qualifying questions, and it's going to teach you a sales process. What nobody goes to school for and what nobody is training is business development. And that's where I think we really separated was we can create a community, we can create an organization or a community and a platform based on training people on how to develop business and what that looks like in terms of philosophy, what that looks like in terms of tactic, what that looks like in terms of process, and how to train and develop those skills in today's world. And that's why, I think the way the platform and the community has grown, I'm super excited about what it is.
What's interesting is we tried to go this route when we did the videos. And we were really excited, like, here's our content, go take it and see you later.
Right.
Like thinking it was, here, I gave you all of this stuff. It's not how people learn.
Correct.
Learning can be fun. Learning needs to be interactive. Learning needs feedback. Learning needs, sort of assessments. And that's what this new tool is. So I've had this conversation a couple of times with people who said, well, yeah, sort of, isn't it the same as what you had before? Absolutely not. I mean, I was in the gym this morning and my trainer had me work on this ladder for an hour. Laid the ladder out and he goes, all right, get ready. We got an hour of this stuff. He did stuff even if I had the ladder, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. And he was testing me and doing so. So I love what you've done. I think it's the evolution of learning, and whether you do one-on-one or not, this as a backup, I think is really wonderful because I've really never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and there's a screenshot of what it looks like when you get into the platform and you have the ability to interact with other people that's in it. But I think, having gone from the platform to then launching the live call and doing the live call, I think this really pulls it all together for people, because this allows us to, instead of stepping in front of you and delivering content for 45 minutes and you walk away, if there's no accountability piece, if there's no application to it, then it's just content. You're just listening. And that's not really what getting 1% better looks like. It's taking the content, it's assessing how well you understood it, and assuming that you understood it at a high level, then offering you the opportunities to apply it in exercises and in different kinds of training that allow you to then say, okay, I got it, before you go perform it in a real live scenario. So being able to offer people all of those different kinds of ways to train, having a monthly live call that's available for people that are part of the community is exciting stuff. So if you are a member of the Huddle or of our community, you enjoy what we teach, but you want to learn it in a way where you own it and you're able to practice it and perfect the skills, that is the tool for you. We have the QR code. We're always going to have the QR code so that you can scan it, you can go there, and you can be involved with us.
I love the way the analogy you created was like a gym membership. You could get a gym membership and not use it. Who loses? But a gym membership is not cumbersome in terms of finances. Most of them, I mean, you go to some of them now, it's free, or because it's January or whatever. Then they charge you a monthly fee.
Sure.
That's sort of the mindset here, is that you have this. And I loved what Jonathan Aaron said yesterday, that careers are really more like a jungle gym.
Yep.
It's not just a ladder, it's a jungle gym. That's what this is. This is, and for me, going in and testing it and doing, I got better. I forgot some of the things,
right.
Some little reminders. And, that's what's the fascinating part about learning, is it's those little tweaks. Thank you, Jonathan, for signing up. We appreciate that. And this was done at a fee that is affordable to everybody. There isn't anybody who's in biz dev who wants to get better that shouldn't be able to afford this. Listen, a lot of times, I pitch somebody or whatever, we're talking about working together, and they go, I just can't make that work. And I get that. That's okay. But if you still want to do it and you find a way to make it happen, might even be equal to or better, or, certainly. So we never want this to be a sales pitch. With the organizations that we're having conversations with, which this tool will allow us to scale training their associates. Obviously, some of the Sistel folks, some of the City Furniture folks, it's a perfect opportunity for us to be able to spread the wealth, and you get to
It's
go.
funny. I mean, Jay Katara hits it on the head the way that he always does. He goes, the best athletes in the world have trainers. Not only do they have trainers, they have training facilities. If you look at where athletes go to compete and train in the off season, they go places where other athletes are. They go places where they're surrounded by people that are on the same mission. I think that was part of this, was how do we bring people from all different sections of the country to the same place where they're learning the same things, they're practicing at the same time, they're competing against each other. There's leaderboards based on how much content you've consumed, based on how well you've done in the assessments, based on how well you've done in the practices. So I think in all of those scenarios and all of those things, it's creating the full-on community around this idea of nobody gets trained to be an expert in business development, especially with the tools and the way that we train it. So this is that place for everybody that wants to be involved.
So this, the LinkedIn user is not visible. It's visible to me. It's Joey Jansen, Joey, congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's part of the True Network, and some of the True folks are already jumping in. But I have a call with Scott on Thursday, the two Scotts actually, to roll it out through them. And here's the sales lesson I really want people to get. You got to listen to your customers. Everybody was saying we need something that's more sticky. We need, what can we do? Because I can't spend that kind of money on everybody.
Right.
That's not economically feasible, but I want everybody to get it. How can we do that? All right, let's build a facility for them to go to, and then see the reports on what you're doing. Not like, here, set it and forget it. It's like, hey, at the end of the week, you can look and go, what were you doing, man?
You're either doing the work or you're not, right? Like, do the freaking work. You're either doing it, and this makes it very visible to you. It makes it visible to, if you want to get your team involved with it, we can deliver you reports for your team. But again, it comes back to, if you want to learn how to do something, you want to be an expert at doing something, you got to be studying the content. Once you study the content, then you got to be applying it and testing how well you know it. You got to be practicing before you go perform. So I'm excited about it. I know that there are people that are excited to get in. Those emails should be coming out to you today or tomorrow. We workflowed the entire business yesterday with Shay and Jake and myself. So excited about what's happening and carrying it on through the start of the new year.
So another significant thing is the content development and implementation is ongoing. So our commitment is once a month, there's a new module. Right now there's 5. There is a video module in there where anybody that was at our kickoff, video. We had Matt DiGregorio had a conversation with you. Boom. The next
video,
thing,
baby.
doing a video. Casey Sherwin, look in the camera in the eye.
I gotta tell you, I'm loving working with Casey because we've gone so deep in the video strategy of how do we leverage video to the masses, how do we leverage video to the individuals, how do we leverage video internally to market ourselves to our team, to be top of mind for people. Because in his business, there's a lot of people that he's got to touch at the same time, and using video to help him streamline that has been really fun to build that strategy.
So like for me, I live my life with 3 L's, lifelong learning. I want to learn, all the time. And so like Jake freaks out at the amount of content that I develop just for me, just so that I have it. It makes me better, and it comes out pushing, into the next phase of my, my word for the year is breakthrough. And I explained this to a couple of people that I had coaching calls with, pretty much, and Nancy says this here, for me, the routines and the habits I've created, I'm going to be successful.
Right.
You could pretty much bet on I'm going to have a good year. It would have to be a complete anomaly for me to fold. The difference is
a nuclear explosion would have to happen.
Right. The difference is you can get comfortable there. I'm going to be successful. Doesn't really matter. I don't need to do that today. I don't need to make those extra 5 calls, or, I don't need to stick to my routine. I don't feel like, you start feeding yourself that bullshit. That's why breakthrough is, for me, I want to break through. I want to get to the other side. The only way to do that is not to do more, but to do it better.
It's funny. So piggybacking off of the Georgia conversation of hunting, in business development, we're hunting new opportunities, we're hunting new conversations, we're hunting new people, but also hunting knowledge, right? Like every day, wake up with a hunger to hunt, to learn something new. Part of what I love about that 5-minute journal is that the last question that it asks you at the end of every day is, what's something you learned today? And if you struggle to find something that you learned that day, you didn't do your job in hunting new information and looking for something and finding a way to grow.
So I think it's very big of Laura to actually use a Nick Saban quote, because he said, you have a choice. You can be bad, and that's okay. You're not going to jail because you're bad at what you do. You can be mediocre. That's fine. But if you want to be elite, you got to do what elite people do. And that's special. That's different. That's holding yourself accountable. So, the mindset of being in business for yourself, to create new opportunities, it's not an easy play. You have all the forces working against you. Whatever you can do to upskill, get better, stay focused, be in a community of like-minded people who want to communicate. So I'm super proud, because I think this is the legacy. There's plenty of places you can go and get one-on-one coaching. And there's plenty of places you can go and get fed drivel. Man, when we sat down with Tim, who's in the business, the amount of stuff that people say that is totally off the reservation is crazy.
And the delivery of it, that to me is like, how are people just dropping you into a platform and saying, here you go? Like, no, like when you get involved with the Get on the Ball platform, I'm guiding you through. I'm popping up through videos in every different corner of the platform to help you understand where you are, what you should be working to accomplish, and guiding you through that process. And oh, by the way, you can pop in and ask a question. There's a community chat room for everybody to be there, to be sharing information with each other. So the execution of what we talk about, I think, is what's really important. And I think that we've, convinced everybody here, or everybody has been around us, to know that execution is everything to us, and we believe in doing it at the highest level.
So if you have questions, reach out. Virtual coffee, Jonathan Aarons did. He's been part of the Huddle. He reached out. We had a great coffee. I really, really dig. I know he's going to Europe, and he's going to want, some places to go in Europe. But the commitment is there. Thank you. What a great night. Congratulations to you for what you've done. Congratulations to Georgia. That was quite a feat. Now we have that same mentality might be said for the Dolphins this Saturday. Is it okay to just get there? Or
it's funny. Somebody texted me yesterday and was like, so if TCU beats Georgia, the Dolphins are beating Buffalo. And so I texted them back this morning, and I was like, God, I hope we don't have the same outcome as that game.
Woo! And unfortunately, it might.
Great stuff. Let's go out. No morning motivational music. The content carried us straight through. It was a great day, a great Tuesday. We will see you guys tomorrow. Let's get down to business.
Jake will be here tomorrow.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night.